we have a problem. But every night I'm making new best friends, and the only problem is we like having a good time.
Hello. Thursday evening, 8 p.m. You know what that means. JPJ here. My boy Pluggo there. A new episode of Between Two Beards. Pluggo, as always, my friend, good to see you. There. Oh, the lights are out. What's going on here? What's happening?
Woo! Got him! Anyway, hi.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good, man. It's just me. Don't worry.
Yeah, is it just you?
I've been dying to do that all day.
Have you?
Hey, listen, if AEW could turn the lights off and give us a subpar surprise, I can do the same. What's up,
Yeah, that's fair.
JPJ? How's it going, man?
We are good. We are good,
I
man.
talk to you in like 20 minutes.
24 hours, you know,
Yeah.
The sirens. I don't know if you can hear them, but they're coming to get me, coming to put me away. But no, man, I'm good. I'm chilling. Last night, you know, we'll get to it. We are going to talk a little AEW Dynamite. I'm sure we'll get to it. But yeah, there was a lackluster ending to Dynamite last night, but the show overall was really good. So I'm excited to talk about that. But yeah, we got a few things to talk about, actually, since we were here last Thursday. You know, last Thursday on air, I did tell you and everybody to make sure you at least watch the Pop Couture saying AEW was lit for 115 minutes. Yes.
You know what? To be honest, it was lit for like 118, 19 minutes because
we are.
They did run over. So they
did run over, and it was like, yeah, I mean, the lights out gimmick in AEW is dead now, right? Like it had that. Like what last night was the funeral.
It should have been dead the last time they did it because they played it out. Like they did it.
This has been something they have played out for a long time. They've done it for a lot. They've done it a lot. But I feel like last night
that was just.
It was a big swing and a miss.
You didn't have to do that.
Yeah, it was a big swing and a miss. And
it's the beards. I love that comment.
It's a good one. No, but I feel like, yeah, they go to the well too often, right? They go to the well too often when it comes to the lights out gimmick. And I feel like last night, you know, leading into Dynamite, there was all this talk, oh, we got approved for a run over and all this stuff. So everyone's going, oh my God, we're going to get Suzuki and Samoa Joe as the main event. They could run over. Oh my God, what's going to happen? Yeah, Mr. Pluggo can answer that one, Mrs. Pluggo. So you want to be honest and tell your wife what that was?
That was my pure excitement and joy for our marriage, honey. I was just telling all the boys how amazing you are. No, I was excited. We had a surprise lights out guest. It was me. Got him.
Yeah, it was about as not exciting as the one that was last night.
Oh my goodness. Oh my god, it was just bad. I mean, no offense to Samir Singh or what is it?
It's Sydenham Singh.
Samir is isn't he in the WWE?
I don't know.
But yeah, just like she's a liar. She got me busted. Yeah, that's true.
What, you having trouble over there? What are you doing here?
No, Alex, our awesome producer, is private chatting, and I'm trying to keep it all going. Where I was going with this is Singh. I mean, he's just not a name that deserves. No offense, he just doesn't deserve the lights off gimmick. It doesn't work. Like
it doesn't. Hunter popping in saying, "I'm pretending the show stopped on time." I feel like if we all just pretended the show stopped on time, we'd be like, another fantastic episode of Dynamite. They're hitting their stride, rocking and rolling.
Jay Lethal goes like this with the box, pops up the bird, you cut it there. That's your bow tie. Next week, it's a cliffhanger. But no, we're all watching last night. You, me, and Astrid on the sidecast, and all the awesome people. Pop Couture was there, where everybody was hanging out, having a good time.
Yeah.
And we all collectively go, "Who is that? Who?
Yes.
Who?"
Yeah. It was very bizarre.
Steal a phrase from the broadcast boys on TikTok. Who? I'm sorry.
And I feel bad for him. I feel bad. Oh my God, Joe's chest has to be black and purple.
We're gonna talk about that.
Black and purple. Match. That thing has to be. Yeah, no, and I feel bad for him because It's not his fault. It's not his fault.
See, that's what just now.
Oh, the pop culture. Yeah, it was up on the
Hey.
screen, but you were in the middle of it. You were in the middle of passionate
Passionate.
rant.
I'm
It's a
never in the
passionate
middle of it.
rant.
I'm always
Yeah.
passionate, even if it's for 30 seconds or 3 minutes. Passion, baby. Passionate Pluggo. Hashtag that
Yeah,
on all
there you
social
go.
medias.
So I feel bad for the dude. Like that was supposed to be a big moment. You're gonna end the show,
Yeah.
but just nobody knew who he was. And
But
when the lights go out, especially to end a show, you're going to expect you're going to expect a certain level of thing that we're going to get, right?
Yeah,
And I feel like
exactly.
it's not what we got. And the crowd that was there, they did not have
What
a
did we-
reaction. We did not have. We were like, our reaction wasn't good. It was like, what the hell is this? Like, what is going on here?
Yeah, so our boy Berto brings up the Joe chest, the Suzuki Joe match. Awesome, right? We're all on the edge of our seats. We're all loving it. The chops are nasty. The match is great. Joe wins the ROH title.
Mm-hmm.
You want to do the lethal stuff, then end it there. You went like one too far. It's like in How I Met Your Mother when Barney tells a story about a lady he hooked up with, and he always goes one too far, and they're like, "Nah, that didn't happen. So you had us." And then he could have debuted at another time. He could have literally just been standing there in the ring. He just, what are you doing? What are you doing?
Yeah, it didn't hit the mark. But I did see a few reports of how they're potentially trying to up their market in India. So this was for that type of thing, which that's fine. That's business. That's fine. But you needed to hit. I think it would have been better if it would have hit. And I feel like, planning that for something that happens maybe in the middle of the show or something. I don't know. I just feel like it just hit. It just missed.
It's just.
And for all the people that say, "Well, you guys are way too pro AEW," the ending was terrible.
Look,
the ending was terrible.
It was a terrible ending. We love AEW. We make no bones about it.
No, yeah.
The women's match deserved more time. I make no bones about that either. They've got problems. They're not perfect. They just happen to be the best show that we watch on a weekly basis. But yes, this was not the spot to do that in. Because also it takes away shine from Samoa Joe's win.
He just wins the Ring of Honor TV title.
And all you did was got people going, who?
Yeah.
Who?
Yeah, it was very bizarre. I think, he wasn't. It just seemed very out of place for that moment, and it was just, like I said, it just missed the mark.
I didn't even know that guy was a wrestler.
Yeah, no, I didn't even know. You want to be honest with me? I didn't even know he was an NBA guy, and I'm an NBA fan. I didn't even know he was an NBA player.
I knew he was an NBA player because Mark Cuban loves the big 7 foot. He's trying to recreate that magic. The guy never played.
That's a good one. Oh, well. The wordsmith. Been a while, my friend.
Bestie, how are you?
Hey,
But yeah, Singh never played in an NBA game. He only made it in the G League.
Gotcha. That would make sense.
And I looked up his stat line today. He played a total of 20 games in the G League.
What was his point per game? Was it 1.7?
5.
All right, that's not bad.
But that's G League. That's G League 5. You get 5 in the G League against guys that look like us. No disrespect to anybody in the G League, but come on.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's very bizarre. Anyway, other than that, the show was very good.
Yeah.
The opening match between Punk and Penta ruled. I thought Punk, he really sold me on that knee when they botched the I think it was going to be a Hurricane Rana, I want to say, but they were both on the top rope and Punk fell. I do agree. I think WWE, I mean, that Raw after Mania was one of the worst Raws I've ever watched in my life. So I'm not going to give them the benefit of the doubt that far. I need to see a few weeks of television programming to really make me.
I thought this week's Raw was better.
I thought this week's Raw was very good. I thought SmackDown last week was good because that felt like a SmackDown after Mania. There were call-ups and debuts and things like that, whereas the Raw after Mania was just brutal.
Just blurting out his wiki page. I mean, I have to. I got to do something to figure out who that guy is.
It was
We're trying to make it. We're not. We love wrestling as a company, so we try not to shit all over everything here. We try to be positive. There's just not a lot of positives yet for the guy outside of the fact that he looks like he's 7 feet tall and he does look like he could crush a guy's skull. But that's all. He didn't need the full lights out treatment.
Yeah, I would agree. Oh boy! All right, so you did mention Raw. You said you wanted to talk about Cody before the show. You wanted to touch.
Yeah,
some base on
are
Cody.
we still high on Cody?
Yeah, I think Cody's the guy that beats Roman.
Yeah, do you think they could keep hot enough until SummerSlam to do that?
Yeah, I think so. I think eventually you have to raise the game a little bit, and again, I think the Miz was a perfect opponent. I think there are people shitting on that, like saying like, "Oh, why is he fighting the Miz?" Like it's his first match. Like that's the perfect guy you want him to fight.
Yeah,
he's automatically gonna get heat, like against himself, so people will cheer for Cody. He's gonna make Cody look like $1 million. He can lose, and it does not matter whatsoever. They can have the Miz TV segment before where the Miz can go back and forth with them. And I loved how, and it was scripted, I'm assuming, but I loved how Cody was like, oh, belt. And Miz was like, it's a championship, not a belt. And he was like, superstars, not wrestlers. I love that shit. I love how they do that because they've done it. They've done it well with Cody. But you need to constantly talk about the fact that he went away. You're not going to mention where he went, I'm assuming. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about that.
I've got a theory on that one.
Oh my God. Dumbass name. Anyway, we'll talk about that more.
I just wanted to bring up Cody because I'm going to say this. I wasn't into the match with The Miz. Only because
thought it was fine.
It was fine. It wasn't, but the only reason is because it's not Cody and Sammy Guevara where he's trying to kill himself, and I understand it's a different environment, new ball game.
What's he supposed to fight?
Exactly. I know, but I don't know. I just always expect Cody to be at that level of crazy insanity, moonsaulting off of cages and stuff.
Yeah, that's not
so
no.
Right. It's taking me a second to adjust. Did I say the match was bad? No, and I realized that's why he left. Because in AEW, if you think about it, in theory, if we're going to talk about, him leaving, maybe that is the bar just kept getting raised higher and higher and higher. And he's got a kid now and he's older and he's probably thinking, you know what? If they're going to pay me the same amount of money, I'll come here and I'll work these safer matches and I'll still be as over as all hell. Like I'm still intrigued by Cody. I'm still excited. I don't think they should have ran Seth and Cody back right away. I really think that's something you space out because I love that match at Mania, but I just think if you're going to do it again in 2 weeks, like.
Well, so my thing when it comes to that is I think they've kind of booked themselves into a tough spot here because Cody needs to win, but I'm not thrilled about Seth Rollins losing another big match in a row when and we've talked about it, like going into Mania, he's performing at a top level to me. Like, I think he's like the best maybe he's ever been from all.
Should I get the Seth mask out?
Yeah. Like, I just think he's performing. You can make a strong argument that this is the best work of his career, period. And they're positioning him as a babyface. He had that moment of the handshake with Cody. They're positioning him, I think, to be a babyface because the crowd is behind this Seth Rollins. I'm not thrilled. That could happen. I don't think they're going to, though, because I think he is in line for Roman. I think there's not many people on the main roster that can take that belt off of Roman within the next 6 months right now. They would have to significantly build people to do that. The only person that I see on the main roster, literally, the only person that I see on the main roster that could take it from him is Cody. The story's already built there. The story's already built.
Seth can take L's and he'll be fine, but ultimately you don't want to.
You don't want to do that.
You don't want to already position him under the guy that just got there, where it's kind of like Seth was already like on the cusp of being like ready for. I mean, you could put him up against Roman tomorrow, and I'd be excited because I think Seth's on fire, even though they already did that. But you get what I'm saying. Like I really do hate that they unified these titles. I know that it makes Roman.
Well, it looks like they're going to be.
But imagine if we had like Cody and Seth for like the WWE Championship, because Cody doesn't want anything to do with the Universal title. He didn't come back because Dusty Rhodes was Universal Champion. You know what I mean? He's coming back for the WWE Championship and the history behind that and the lineage and all that. He could care less. So why did you put the belt on the guy and it don't make sense. So can you challenge him can Cody be like, look, I just want the WWE title. You can go like that.
Well, I mean, it's all one thing now, right? It's the undisputed WWE Universal Champion. Like that's what
dumb.
it is.
That's dumb.
You know? But my thing,
3 more Lesnar, stadium shows. Yeah, they're
doing 3 more stadium shows, but I think Lesnar and Reigns will be staying away.
Over under how many of those stadium shows will have Lesnar and Reigns fight each other?
I would be shocked if it's one.
One?
I would be shocked if it's one.
So we're putting the bar at 0.5.
Yeah, I would think that they're getting away from that. I think they've already announced that on the house show circuit, like it's going to be McIntyre. It'll be McIntyre, and then he might very well be, but I mean, at the end of the day, it is what it is. I think Cody is. I don't think he cares, and I wouldn't care either if I was him.
He was a transitional NWA champion. I think he's just doing this stuff in legacy. That's all he cares about at this point.
Yeah, and then Berto says Randy. I think Randy is perfect where he is right now. RK Bro is
amazing.
They're really like one of the best parts of the WWE product right now to me. They were supposed to break up well before this moment, but Randy specifically was like, nah, dude, I'm having a good time. Like, let's keep going here.
Randy.
So yeah, I mean, I love it. I love RK Bro. I love RK Bro, and I love that it's been going on for this long. But yeah, no, Orton at any time is one of those guys that could get up to the main event, and yes, he could beat Roman. But is that going to excite anybody? Randy Orton doing that? It's not. It's not. Like, you want the guy that beats Roman after this 500, 600. You want it to be somebody that will excite the audience. Somebody new would do that. If they brought somebody up and pushed them to the moon, that would do that. I think Cody, even though there's a history with Cody and WWE, I think Cody coming back and being presented as this Cody, a different Cody, that would excite people. I think the promo last Monday, which was really one of the only good things about the post Raw after Mania, the crowd got behind him, and when he said, I can put that title on the American Nightmare, that crowd popped. On Monday, that crowd was behind Cody. I think Cody's the guy that he can do both. He can structure. Oh, Randy will 100% get another run, but think about, I know Berto kind of said like Randy taking the belt from Roman would be good for Cody chasing Randy because of their history, but think about the other way around. Cody's whole thing is built upon his legacy, right? If he's the guy that knocks off Roman and he solidifies his family's legacy, then Randy Orton as the first challenger to Cody, that works for me because Randy could be like, hey, remember when you first started, who the guy was that brought you here?
Right.
It was me.
Yeah.
It was me. You were with me. And then I think that's a whole other story you could do. So I definitely get Cody, like if Randy somehow, I don't think he's going to. I think RK Bro should last as long as they want it to last. It's fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
But that's a fun thing for me. If Cody gets to the point, and Alex said it in the private chat, but I agree with him. Like Cody could be in the Money in the Bank ladder match and win the Money in the Bank. Why not? I would rather give it to somebody else. But like Cody could win the Money in the Bank, and then that's basically a ticket that, okay, he's going to win that belt at some point. I would prefer him to just keep cutting promos like he's cutting and just beating people till it's like, okay, like he clearly is the number one contender. He's, whatever, 10, 11, and 0 by the time we get to SummerSlam or whatever. He's beating everybody. Cool. Like he's fighting Roman as opposed to the Money in the Bank route. I want Kevin Owens to win the Money in the Bank. That's what I want. I want Kevin Owens to win the Money in the Bank.
I want Kevin Owens to keep.
I want Kevin Owens to have all the belts. Kool-Aid man, what's going on, brother? I agree. I agree. I fully agree.
Bring Cody Rhodes back and not like.
I don't think he would have come back if like those. I don't think he would have come back and right? Yes, he had to sit at that table across from Vince and be like, "Hey man, I want to come back, but like, it's got to be this way now. Not him sitting there going, I demand to be WWE champion. But like, yeah, I mean, I would. But like, yeah, but like, I'm sure he was like, look, I need to be treated like a main eventer. And I need to be, maybe he did say, I would like to win that. I don't know, but that had to be in the, he wouldn't have come back if he was going to be a middle of the road dude. Because that's the reason why he left, was because he was a middle of the road dude. So I would be shocked. I think it's Cody and Roman at SummerSlam. I really do. I think that's the SummerSlam match. It's going to be a stadium show in Nashville.
Then he doesn't need to win the Money in the Bank if you're going to do that.
I agree. I would rather him not go that route, but you could give him the Money in the Bank. He's a big enough, like you could.
Yeah.
Of course, I fully agree. Kool-Aid Man's on point here. I fully agree. His debut worked great. Yeah. They had to do that.
Yeah, they can't bring him back as dashing Cody Rhodes. That just doesn't hit.
Yeah, and Berto was right though, and I think that was part of the rhetoric or the dialogue when we found out that he was going there. Was, oh God, we think he should be treated this way, but how can you trust Vince? How could Vince? He could change his mind in 4 months and be like, "You're Stardust again, man. Put the paint on." Like Vince can do whatever the fuck he wants.
That's what worries me. Like, are they going to be able to keep him hot?
If they let him be this, if they let him, yes. If they let him be, if they let him, well, so far since WrestleMania, it's been if they let him be this Cody. Yeah, I understand this, but if they let him continue to be this Cody, which is the Cody that we basically saw here, I think that it's if they start messing around with him too much, if they start too much scripting his promos, if they start changing the character too much to you need to Tim, always a pleasure to see you, man. Thank you. Hopefully the night gets a little better for you, but we appreciate you hopping in and saying hello as always.
About some meat products. I'm excited.
Oh wow, meat products.
Pork butts.
Oh,
I might be making some pork butts this weekend, dude. Yeah, Tim, nice to see you, friend.
Yeah.
I just worry. I think that they are fully, and I've said it when he signed, and I said it the whole time. I think it'd be silly of the WWE to mess with it too much and get their own way. I really think they need to clear a path and let Cody be Cody. I just worry because they do this all the time where they have a good thing and they're like, let's tweak it here, let's tweak it there, and then they've ruined it for everyone. And SummerSlam is as close it is, it's still quite a ways away, and there's still a lot of chances for R-Truth to hang out with Cody Rhodes or just stupid stuff that could happen. I'm worried, but I'm giving them the benefit of the doubt because it makes, like I said, again, from a financial sense, from business standpoint, if you bury Cody Rhodes, you're just telling anybody that comes here that no one's above it and we will just bury you. So I hope they don't.
And that is the main reason why I'm somewhat optimistic about this, is because there are greater things at play here.
Tim,
and the greater things.
Favorite wrestlers, McAfee?
I mean, maybe.
I love McAfee, don't get me wrong, but it's because he's a Colts fan.
He says, I was hoping for a real superstar. My thing is, there's a greater thing at play here, and the greater thing is what you just mentioned. If they do what some of us are afraid or were afraid that they could do to Cody, then you lose every goodwill you have with, like, if anybody's contract's up anywhere besides money, and look, for some people money will be the main motivation. I got no problem with that. You do how you want to do you. But if they fuck up Cody to the point where he becomes a mid-carder right away or soon, or he's just a middling person again, if I'm MJF, if I'm Wardlow, if I'm Jade Cargill, if I'm anybody at AEW or Impact or anywhere, Ring of Honor, whatever, and my contract is up and they're saying that WWE has interest in me, I'm going to be like, no, I'm good. I'll probably figure it out somewhere else where I'll at least have fun with what I'm doing and be treated with the way that I think I should be treated. Yeah, that's
fair. McAfee is the main.
How can you not like Kevin Owens, Tim? Best guy on the roster.
It's probably
Seth Rollins. Come on.
It's probably because you like Kevin Owens.
And don't get me wrong, I like McAfee a lot. I think McAfee, if he did it regularly, would be a top dude for them. I truly believe that. But And I agree with you, Hunter. They can't elude. They can't. Wardlow, I disagree. I think Wardlow, I disagree. They can't afford to lose MJF, 100%. But guess what? If anybody would leave for money,
It's MJF.
it's MJF. He's been openly talking about it in almost every interview you read about 2024. You know, is Drew McIntyre? I mean, he's facing Roman on the house shows for WWE now for the title. Granted, on the house shows, but I do think he took a significant hit this last year or so. But I think he's one guy that you could move back up easily. Hey, everyone's entitled to their opinion. I disagree. I think when he's been given the chance to talk, he can talk. He looks the part. He's a monster. He's agile. If you see some of his early matches, he can like actually go in the ring. And he's super over. He's super over. Had one of the biggest pops on the show last night. People want to see him murder MJF.
Yeah, they've got him one trick ponying because that's just working.
That's what got him over is the one trick pony.
They're going for it. But yeah, I think he could do a little bit more. I'm excited to see that. I think that they should pay it off sooner than later. I don't think you could stretch this through the summer. No,
the Double or Nothing. I think that's the match, and then they figure it out. But yeah, I was just using those like I would consider like some. I use them both together because those are people that WWE would want to go after. You can see people on AEW's roster where you're like, oh, that seems like that would be a WWE target. Jade Cargill is another one. Wardlow, Jade Cargill.
Yeah, Hunter. If it's up to me and I had to choose, I'm with you. I take MJF.
Oh, of course, yes, 100%, 100%.
10 out of 10 times over Wardlow. But if you have the option to keep both, you absolutely want to, because I think you can build a heavyweight division around him if you give him the right stuff.
Yeah,
I'm interested to see. I know he had the one really great promo. I want to know if he can sustain that weekly, because that's why this is working, because he's not talking.
Yeah,
because he'll get slaughtered by MJF.
I think he just used exactly. Yeah. Well, to address Kool-Aid Man here, I understand what you're saying, but just because he doesn't need the top championship to be over doesn't mean that he shouldn't get the top championship. Like, you know what I mean? I feel like, and it's because of WWE and their booking. 100%. She's already like.
Yeah,
I was not last night.
In her from day
one.
Oh
yeah. I'm not last night, but I went to Dynamite last week when she cut that promo, and that was
money.
And I feel like that was the only thing she was. Obviously, she's still green in the ring, but she's getting better every time you see her. She clearly looks the part. From day one, you were like, "Holy shit, who is this woman?" Like, she is statuesque. Like,
Tim,
looks like a god.
No one should be facing Tyrus. Tyrus shouldn't have a job. He should never wrestle. He is hands down the worst television wrestler today. He is bad. He is not great. I don't know why the NWA thinks so highly of him. Yeah. Anyway, that's all I'll say.
No, it's good. It's good. And Bobby Lashley, I mean, I could buy into that. I disagree with you when it comes to KO. I do think he's a better heel than babyface, but I think if you let KO be like the everyman, like the everyday man, he clearly, like, he's chubby. He looks like an average dude compared to some of the other superstars you see. I think if you let Kevin Owens kind of just cut normal promos where he can talk and be funny and be that, the crowd would 100%. They already half cheer him when he's a bad guy anyway. Like, I think Kevin Owens could be a huge babyface. I
mean, Bobby Lashley's over in my house.
Yeah, I love that.
My son,
I like Lashley.
My son loves Bobby Lashley.
Yeah.
I think it's a weird, I don't know. I like Omos with MVP. I think that's going to be a lot of fun.
And he clearly needed someone to talk for him.
He does.
Clearly, so that is perfect.
That's why Styles was so good for him.
Yeah.
And also because Styles is just phenomenal, no pun intended, in the ring. So it makes Omos look amazing, and he gets to learn under one of the best wrestlers of all time. Mm-hmm. But yeah, he needs a talker. He's not great on the mic. He's not going to say anything profound.
That program should have been for the world title or the universal title. And WWE did what they normally do. And they were like, let's call a legend in to ruin this shit. And because we need this fucking person here to be champion when they don't need to be champion.
That an amazing isn't that an amazing feat for Kevin Owens and Jericho to be like, they took something that if you would have put the world title on it would have been
So over.
like,
That
so
crowd would have been
over,
so
but
invested
it
in
was
that match.
all that they were so invested in it without. Could you just imagine adding that wrinkle to it? The WWE constantly does that, where they just like swing and miss and put the titles in spots that they don't need to. I just, God, that Festival of Friendship thing was amazing.
Yeah.
Why is my name on the list?
Your name's on the list?
Hello, your name.
Oh yeah, yeah. Sorry, I was like, what? Why is my name on the list? And it was just like, man, that was an all-time moment. That crowd when that happened was like literally like, no, like we enjoy you guys so much. Don't do
Please
that.
don't do.
Please do not.
Don't break us up.
Don't break them up. This is the part of the show we actually like. No. Yeah. All right. You know what else I want to talk about?
No.
Theory. That's what I want.
No, you don't.
Dumbass name. Dumbass name.
For everyone that just hopped in the chat, welcome to Between Two Beards.
Between Two Beards.
Get your questions, your comments, your statements in. We're going to read them. We don't care. We're going to have some fun tonight. And we're going to talk about, I almost said it. It's not Austin, it's Theory.
What a dumbass decision this is. Who, I do agree. I do, and I've said this, I get young John Cena vibes from Austin Theory.
Austin Theory is...
He's talented.
He's super talented. He makes
hey Walton, what's going on? Thanks for hopping in, man. We're talking some. We're talking the former Austin Theory, now just Theory, because that was not a dumbass decision. That's what we're talking about. As you can tell, dumbass name.
Look, all I know.
Dumbass name. You ever gonna be scared of someone named fucking Theory?
Yeah.
If really, if someone came up to you and said, "Hey, nice to meet you," and you're like, "Hey, I'm John. How are you? What's your name?" and he said, "My name's Theory,"
I'd say,
"What the hell kind of name is that? Get away from me." That's what I would say.
I'd say,
what the hell kind of terrible ass name is just Theory? What does that mean? My name's Theory, man. Oh, all right. Ooh. Oh shit! I'm shaking in my boots. Your name's Theory? Fuck out of here! Get out of here! I can't do it. I can't do it.
I mean,
I can't. Dumbass name.
We go up and down this every time they change.
Yes, because they do it too much. We do go up and down it all the time.
I know, but it's just like, at least this time they gave us a slight reason because he's so upset with Austin that he didn't want to say the name. So hopefully they'll eventually give it back to him. But like, again, you have a guy. Brutal. You've had the guy since he was in Evolve, because Evolve was an offshoot of WWE. They always worked together. It was always known that like Austin Theory was the next guy.
Yeah, I get it. Dan popping in the chat. What is up, my friend? Thanks for hopping in, brother.
Man, we got everybody's popping in tonight. What's up, everybody?
I love it.
Again,
I love it.
Questions,
love the engagement.
Comments, anything you want to talk about from any range of life. We don't care. Last night, JPJ was giving parenting advice, and he don't even got kids.
I don't.
So
get him on a schedule.
It was a light. Honestly, we're gonna be honest. It was a light week. There wasn't a ton of newsworthy stuff.
I agree.
So, but we love shooting the shit and hanging out. But anyway, Theory, such a silly name because again, like, why? Like, is it? What do they do? Like, I don't know. I can't tell you why this one makes any sense because you have the guy.
My thing to
Austin
me is
Theory. Why can't he also Stone Cold Steve Austin exist? Why can't Austin Theory exist?
I don't know. I literally have no idea. It just doesn't make sense. It's just like, dude, why? The dude's been on the roster for a year now as Austin Theory. There you go, Berto even saying it. He became a better father because of me last night. Yeah, that's what happens.
I became
what happened?
Because you know what? I walked upstairs and I said, "Shut up, kids."
Well, first of all, I never told you to tell your kids to shut up.
No, you did. But I just
I never said that. I said get them on a schedule. No. Make sure they do some chores and make them earn their keep.
I was upstairs. They were asleep.
Free food, free room and board. You earn your shit around here. That's what you do.
For those that are uninitiated, we do a little show on Wednesday nights during All Elite Wrestling called the All Elite Sidecast, and while we're supposed to be breaking down Dynamite, we were talking about my children and their recklessness.
Mhm.
And JPJ was like, you know what? I got it. This is what we do. And he was laying the hammer down. So go back and check that out.
Yeah. I just think for me, and look at WWE's done this all the time. They've changed names. I just feel like the way they're doing it now, and this is going to kind of move into the next thing I want to talk about. They change names of people that have already been established as these people. And we got Dan here saying, I think Vince just realized when Austin was next to Stone Cold that Austin name. Yeah.
But you can have two people with the same name.
That's my thing. Like,
apart.
And I guess that's the only thing that bothers me about it. It's like,
is he saying
we know if you look at well, I think Vince thinks yes. I mean, you watch the booking for the last 20 years. Yes, they do shit 2 or 3 weeks, like, because his mindset is these people don't remember. Oh, we're getting there, Berto. We're getting there. You mean Gunther? Thank you.
Listen, we're bad with money. We blow the budget left and right on this
left
show.
And right,
constantly, weekly. We're spending Spencer's money like he's got it. But I can tell people apart even if they have the same name. Just because there's two pluggos in the room doesn't mean I'm like, wait a minute, am I you or you me?
But this isn't even like that, because like it's Stone Cold Steve Austin. That's his last name. Austin is this dude's first. That's not the same shit.
And the guy doesn't wrestle anymore.
Yeah, and Stone Cold. Yeah, he came back last weekend at Mania, 2 weekends ago for Mania. Yeah, but before that, he hadn't been back in 19 years. Like, he pops in every so. What the fuck does it matter that somebody else has a name on your roster that is what?
All right,
what does that mean? Is nobody ever going to be named Shawn again because of Shawn Michaels? Like, there's never going to be another Shawn first name in the history of WWE. You know what I mean? It's just like, this one made no sense. No sense. But that I want to move on, because on SmackDown last week, we saw a couple people get called up to the main roster.
Skinny,
and they were given new names. So Gunther,
Skinny Gunther ain't the vibe.
Well, he looks great.
Yeah, I like.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it's all right. I mean, I like Walter. The thing that's most egregious to me about the presentation is that they gave him new music. Like, you can go right to hell. You can go right to hell. That first music was so good. Yeah, dude. It set him apart. The crowd would sing. Like, fuck you for changing his music like that. That's not cool.
Swear jar.
That's fine. But we saw the presentation. He was wearing all red instead of his normal black, but he was still the ring general. Yeah. Very much still the same presentation of Walter. Chop heavy, brutal match, won very easily. I do think he is someone that, if presented, again, the name change is dumb. They should have just kept Walter. He's under your company. He was the longest reigning champion of one of your championships as Walter.
Yeah.
And then you were like, no, his name's different now. It makes no sense.
That's why I don't understand.
And then I want to talk
like why do that? We talk about all that. I don't understand the 600-day title reign, and you're gonna just change the dude's name without really giving us much of a reason.
It makes no sense.
And the reasons they gave were on the show that nobody watches.
We know the reason. The reason is they want to make money off the name, and they can't make money if they have the name that they had before they got to WWE.
Well, then why didn't you just change it from the beginning?
Because Vince is dumb. And he's old and doesn't know what the fuck he's doing. And Triple H had a different mindset when he signed those guys. I have seen Raul Mendoza. See, this is different, though, because his new name is Cruz del Toro. To me, that's a badass name.
Yeah.
I hear Cruz del Toro, and I'm like, that's pretty cool. That's a cool name. Better than fucking Butch. You talking about Butch?
I don't want to talk about Butch because I'm gonna get fired up.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, Cruz del Toro, to me, Cruz del Toro actually seems like there was some thought behind it. Like, we want to get you a new name. What's your name? That seems like there was some thought. Cruz del Toro. You know what doesn't seem like there was some thought? Theory. Butch.
Are you sure there weren't any theories?
Gunther. Like, those don't seem like that. And then we get Marcel Bartel comes up. So on NXT, not this past Tuesday, but previously, Butch is going to lose. I have a feeling Butch is going to lose a lot. They don't give a shit about Butch. They named him Butch. They don't give a shit about that guy. Hey, here's what you're going to do. We're going to take one of the best wrestlers in the world with one of the most unique looks, demeanor,
presence,
music,
yeah,
his presence. Like, we're going to take this guy who's like 25 or 6, like super young. We're going to take him. No, to answer your question, wait, is his name Cruz the Bull? Yeah, is that Cruz del Toro, Cruz the Bull. Right. I just think the name in general is cool. King Woods did not need that win. But after WrestleMania, yikes, because that was I talked about that last week. You can go look at it last week. F the WWE for what they did to New Day. Sons of bitches. Culp, good to see you, my friend.
That Swogs Culpito? Fine. Where you been, bro?
Yeah. Literally, I just feel like
Much love, brother.
they don't give a shit about Butch. They don't give a shit about Butch. They have him being this guy. You're going to run around the outside like you constantly, like you're a psycho. Very weird.
I don't know where the WWE got this idea that like these, like what, like these super, like just like generic characters, like
it's so bizarre. And we're going to talk about it because they called up.
You got Tony D'Angelo, which is getting over, but I still think it's kind of in an ironic sense.
Yeah.
But like, you got to take this guy, Butch. You put him on your main roster. Do you ever see Butch as United States champion? No. Intercontinental? The way they're presenting
him. He's the guy that's going to take pins in this group.
Yeah.
That's what he's going to be. He's the guy that's going to take the falls and lose the matches for this group.
And they're doing that on NXT, and they're bringing up these like, it's just, I don't understand where they had this idea of like, we're just going to pigeonhole these characters into this is your lane. How the hell is Butch supposed to get over?
He's not.
I know. But
that's why
would you do that?
Because Vince doesn't give a shit.
I don't understand.
Because Vince does not care.
I love Pete Dunne.
Yeah, we all loved Pete Dunne. And Vince was like, I don't give a crap what you love. He always does this.
Breaks my heart.
And then we got Gunther
comes first. Call. That's fair.
That's fair.
She should be watching the show. She should be learning from Uncle Pluggo.
And Hunter is sadly right. It's either job-related gimmicks or old school ethnic tropes.
Yeah.
And and we see it so. Also on SmackDown, Gunther moved up. He was impressive in the showing, but he didn't move up alone. He moved up with Marcel Bartel. So the week prior, they had Fabian Eichner, for whatever reason, leave Imperium, even though they were a great group, great trio, could have brought all three of them up, whatever. You better have something for Fabian Eichner because he's a good wrestler. And if you just did that so he does nothing now, I literally hate you. But they come up, and Marcel Bartel's new name is Ludwig Kaiser.
Why?
Ludwig Kaiser. Cool.
Tell me why, JP.
What was wrong with Marcel Bartel? What was wrong with that name?
Again,
the answer was nothing. There was nothing wrong with that name.
They cater to the casual fan way too much. If people want to argue that AEW caters to the inside baseball fan way too much, WWE only cares about grabbing the casual fan, right? Because again, if you have a diehard WWE fan, and we all love WWE, we watch. I'm watching NXT. If I'm a diehard fan, I'm growing up with Pete Dunne. I'm loving Pete Dunne. I'm falling in love with Pete. I'm falling in love with Imperium. And they're going to make the main roster. It should be a big deal. Then they get there and you completely go against everything that made your diehard fan fall in love with them. Makes absolutely no sense. I understand from a business sense you want to change names and make money off of this, but that should be where you start. That would be like the minor league baseball team taking, like the Rays taking Wander Franco and the minors and going, you're a pitcher now, bro. Yeah. Or Rafael Devers, guess what? You're a catcher now, bro.
Yeah. Or they'd be like, hey, your name, we're just calling you Raphael.
Yeah, like
we're not calling you Devers.
Why invest
Raphael,
all
that's your
this
name.
time, all this energy, grooming them the way you want them to be that's what the Performance Center is for, to work this shit out so that they are ready for the main roster.
And we still got one more to talk about because we saw also. And this one, you can go into different levels with it if you want. But this one, we saw the former NXT Women's Champion, Raquel Gonzalez, get called up to the main roster And she
Got
is now
another
going
name.
by the name Raquel Rodriguez. For what fucking reason?
Yeah.
For what reason? Oh,
It's
for what reason? What was wrong with Gonzalez? What? First of all, her name was Reina Gonzalez, which was so much more badass than Raquel. Reina. So she was Reina Gonzalez. Then you change her to be Raquel Gonzalez. Fine. She's an NXT Women's Champion. Won the belt at the Mania Takeover last year. So at the biggest takeover of the year, wins the belt, carries the belt through all the summer. Part of the first ever NXT Women's Tag Team Champion. She was a main top women's wrestler in NXT. And you bring her up and we change her name to Rodriguez. For what reason? For what reason? It is the dumbest stuff I've ever, and maybe it goes along with what Dan said. Maybe Gonzalez is her real last name. It could be. I don't know. I didn't look up her real name. Maybe that's her real last name. And they're like, well, we can't do that because it's your real last name. So we need a different IP so we can get money off you. So you're Rodriguez now.
But why not?
But like, I just don't understand the thought process. Why does that matter?
I am legitimately asking because I don't know, because I don't get that too deep into this. Why not just do that at the beginning when you sign these people and just say, you're here now, we want you to be this, and you can tweak things, and yeah, character changes can happen and things like that. I get it. You know, Bray Wyatt went through a few changes over the years too, but like he never went by his original name when he got there. Like, I don't understand why you don't just change it.
Yeah,
from the jump,
it doesn't make sense.
And then
so her name is
again.
Victoria Gonzalez, but she talked openly before about wanting to keep her real last name because so she talked openly about that. So when she finally got to the main roster, Vince was like, yeah, I don't give a shit about that. What's another Spanish name? What's another Hispanic name? Rodriguez, that's what you are.
But just do it.
It's like, what are we doing, man? Why?
And then if you think about it, now that I'm thinking about it, just going like, so Big E Langston was a former, and now he's just Big E.
Antonio Cesaro was just Cesaro.
And now his name was changed. You have Gonzalez's name was changed. Pete Dunne, Walter. So all these champions on your like lineage, you're like, wait, who?
Yeah. If you were a new wrestling fan, like I know me, when I was younger and I first got into wrestling, I went back when back when video stores were a thing. I would go to the video store every weekend. I would rent old wrestling tapes because I wanted to know as much as I could. I looked at the history of wrestling. So if I'm a young wrestling fan that gets into it now and I'm like, oh, and I'm just young enough that I just want to soak in all this stuff. And I'm like, oh yeah. Oh, the NXT UK championship. Oh, who are the two longest reigning champions? Oh, Pete Dunne and Walter. Oh, that's cool. Where are they? Oh, they're Gunther and Butch.
Butch is holding the jock for Sheamus right now.
The hell.
Jesus.
The hell, man. Damn it.
How do you just decide, like, all right, Pete Dunne isn't going to work on the main roster? Like, how do you get there?
Which is bullshit, because Pete Dunne would have got to the main roster, and everybody that if you didn't know Pete Dunne, you give him 2 weeks, and everyone would be like, "Wow, that guy's pretty badass, huh? He's pretty cool. I think we like him." No, Butch. Hey, run around like a psychopath. We'll hold you back from getting in the ring. Fuck. Come on. Oh. Anyway,
they hold him by his suspenders.
So stupid.
Let me at him. That's
yeah,
him.
exactly. He's got his fucking stupid hat on. Oh, yeah, we'll grab him by the suspenders so he can't get in the ring. You make him look like a friggin' dope. One of the best wrestlers in the world. That guy could be a cornerstone of your company for a decade. He's like 25 or some shit. Go back to the takeover. I don't know what year it was, 2016 maybe. Go back to the takeover in Chicago and watch Tyler Bate and Pete Dunne.
Amazing.
And tell me that's not one of the best wrestling matches you've ever seen in your life. Because it is.
It would have been better.
And now that guy is looking like a damn fool every Friday night on SmackDown. Oh, disgusting. Anyway, good times.
He'd have been better as Butch, bro. Butch versus Tyler Bate.
Oh, that would have ruled.
That
would've
just means
ruled.
like Tyler Bates' name's gonna change.
If he ever gets, they're all I think that's what it signifies. Is did he get his nose smashed on SmackDown in the match? Right? Was he bleeding? I thought. Yeah.
Get him.
Speaking of SmackDown, I'll be at SmackDown tomorrow night. That's right. That's right.
Oh.
I'll be there.
Are you gonna yell?
Sure.
Are you gonna chant for Butch?
I'm probably gonna. SmackDown has sucked recently, so I'm gonna. I don't know how I'll be, but hopefully having a good time. I want to see Roman. I haven't seen Roman that many times in this iteration, obviously because of the pandemic and things like that. But yeah,
His 93-minute entrance.
hey, whatever. It's better than what the fuck else they're doing. So whatever, give it to me. The whole entrance can be the first hour if they want. If they're gonna give me what they've been giving to me recently. Oh man,
They needed to fill the void when Undertaker and Goldberg, exiting. They needed to find somebody with a long entrance, and Roman's the guy now.
Jeez
14
Louise.
minutes.
All right. You know what? I think before we continue, actually, did you watch NXT by chance this week?
I watched the beginning of it. I watched the Mandy Rose match, Dakota Kai. Poor Dakota Kai.
Yeah, no. What did
I
you
like
think
the
of
Cameron Grimes match? Was a lot of fun.
What did you think of the Wendy Chu with the squirt guns and?
Oh, I mean, Wendy Chu's awesome. Late to the party, but I'm here. The Redsburg.
We're glad you're here, my friend. And Hunter, we will be talking about Battle of the Belts a little bit in Rampage.
Yes,
they are looking good. They are looking good.
I don't know. It doesn't bother me. The Wendy Chu stuff doesn't bother me. I know it's goofy, it's silly, but that's NXT 2.0. So I mean, that's what they're going for.
Yeah,
so
I do agree with Dan Solo here. He is a future champ. I think Carmelo Hayes as well. Braun Breaker, obviously. I think those are three dudes that are main roster players in the future.
They're all going to get name changes.
Braun Breaker, that's set. Braun Breaker set.
Nope. Sorry.
No, because I think those were the names that were given to them for NXT. I think what you see on NXT 2.0 right now, this is designed that's what's going to happen. 100%.
I will put it on the board. We'll put it on the long board here. Braun Breaker's name will change before his career's out.
You think so? Well, if anything, it should go to Rex Steiner. It should go to Steiner.
I'm just saying it.
It could. I mean, probably at this rate, yes.
Solo Sikoa, name change.
Well, yeah, he's going to be an Uso.
Exactly.
He's going to be he's going to be an Uso.
Carmelo Hayes.
Yeah, he'll be Carmelo Hayes. That guy's a stud.
He better be.
That guy's
that
a
would
stud.
be the one I keep.
That guy's a stud. He's going to be huge.
Nobody.
Huge superstar.
Bruce Pritchard. I don't trust Vince McMahon. They're going to change them names, dog.
Yeah, if they change Braun, yeah, for sure. If they change Braun Breaker to Rex Steiner, I wouldn't mind it. Yeah, I mean that was the rumored of what his name was going to be was Rex Steiner, and then they were just like, "No, we're good, man. Braun Breaker.
I mean,
brutal.
I love that in every promo Braun Breaker has, he mentions his father and his legacy. I personally have never seen a Scott Breaker match.
Oh, you haven't?
I've never heard of the Breaker brothers. I've never seen them wrestle, so I don't know who the hell that dude's talking about.
No.
I mean, there's no other breakers in the history of wrestling. He's making that up. His dad and uncle don't exist. Yeah. I know Scott Steiner. I know who that is. And Rick Steiner. I know the Steiner brothers. I don't know any Breaker brothers.
Breaker brothers, bro. Breaker 19.
Yeah, that's right. That was
Breaker 19.
Yeah,
dude. I don't know, but now I'm all thrown up for a loop. I got heated there. Now I'm just.
That happens on this show every week.
Brutal.
Somebody goes on
brutal. You know, one thing we didn't talk about. I gave because we didn't even dive into it, but I gave the warning. Commentary mentioned the Steiner Brothers Hall of Fame induction, but they credited it to the Breaker. No, they didn't. Is that true?
Is that true? I hope that's so true.
I need to know if that's true. I mean, I have no reason to call Dan a liar. I have no reason to call Dan a liar. He's been a fan of ours, and he usually brings the facts. But if that is true, holy shit!
Alex in the private chat, he's 33.3% of Braun.
Yeah, literally. What is going on? Did that really happen? What?
I hope so, but I doubt it. I hope so. But that's what I'm saying. Why lean so heavy into I get it. Everybody says Braun picked the name. That doesn't mean it's good. Doesn't mean it's
No.
great.
All right, before we transition to, let's talk about, because one thing that happened after our show that we haven't talked about on air yet is Wheeler Yuta.
Who? The GOAT?
Wheeler Yuta.
The future?
I was there when they filmed that match. I told you the night, like as I was seeing it, I messaged you, like on the side, obviously, and I was like, make sure you watch this match. Last week on here, I said, hey guys, make sure y'all watch this match. I think the way it was showed on Rampage, it still ruled, but it didn't do it justice. Being there live, that crowd was hot, and that match was hot from literal start to finish. Like, it was insane. And Wheeler Yuta became a made man at the end of that match.
Your Ring of Honor Pure champion on top of it. So they already thought highly of him.
Oh, yeah.
And then he showed out in that
performance. He kicked out of two. And one of them was the one that Moxley goes all the way up, vertical.
Yeah,
he kicked out of two of those.
Yeah.
What?
Like, Wheeler Yuta is so fantastic. And then, like you said, you add this to it, and you add him with a Mox and a Bryan. I think we all underestimate he gets to pick the brain of three of the best minds in wrestling history on a daily basis. You can only get better.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know,
holy crap.
And he's already at an elite level in terms of just in-ring talent. Like, he's phenomenal. Check out some of the indie stuff he's done. He was the IWTV champion forever. Like, they don't just put that on any old slouch. And boom, just that match, mind blowing. I can't wait to see what they do next with that. I'm glad he's away from the best friends, and I love that this has given the best friends some edge. They needed a little edge. It does sometimes get too slapsticky and too comically with Danhausen and stuff. So I love what all of this has done, but it did ultimately, at the end of the day, they took a young kid, made him a star.
Yeah, and that match last night ruled. The chemistry that Keith Lee and Strickland had, Swerve, unbelievable. Like, the moves they did together, the chemistry they had in the ring, it was like they had been teaming forever. It was incredible. That match ruled. You know what's crazy is when you talked about Rampage last week, everyone was talking about Mox and Yuta, as they should. But, like, the Danielson-Trent match at the beginning of that was also, like, really, really friggin' good. And if it got overshadowed so much, obviously for the right reasons, because that was a star-making performance by Wheeler.
I didn't even see that one.
Oh man, you got to go back and watch that. That was good. If Yuta and Moxley didn't happen and like wasn't the way it was, people would have been talking way more about the Trent Danielson match, because that was a violent, not to the extent of Yuta having a face covered in blood and stuff, but
not to get too far off topic, but yeah, this past weekend was my 5-year wedding anniversary, so I didn't dive as deep into my wrestling watching as I usually do. I went through Axes and went bowling, and we went to the casino and ate expensive food. And shouldn't have,
Hey, whatever.
Had a lot of fun. Shout out to Mrs. Pluggo for putting up with me. That was a lot of fun. So yeah, I watched that match, and I didn't catch Rampage all the way through last week. So I'll have to circle back. Sounds like I got
get it together,
bro.
Priorities,
sorry, bro.
Priorities. Beards,
look.
Wife. All right.
I'm sorry.
Beards. No, I'm just kidding.
Without the
you deserve the time off. I was.
Beards doesn't.
Yeah,
happen.
no. I'm just kidding.
And I'm not just kissing ass.
You deserve the weekend off. You work hard.
She's our biggest fan, bro.
I know. I'm just messing around.
She told me yesterday that she wants a 5th Christmas tree, but we can talk
about
that another time.
We have some new fans in here. They don't know about the Christmas trees. Let's hold it off.
Berto. I'm sorry. My wife, I can't. 5 years wedding anniversary. You know how often our anniversary falls on a WrestleMania weekend? Because
what's the date? It was April 10th?
April 8th. So
April
like
8th,
when they were doing it a little later, like So this week we got kind of lucky, and it was after, and we took the opportunity and had some fun. We went out down to town. We never do that.
Dan, you do not have to apologize at all. I was just the thing is you said that, but you said that, And as much as I was like, there's no way that fucking happened, in my brain, I was like, that is 100% a WWE. Like, they would do that.
But
They
also,
would 100%
Dan,
do
we
that.
100% trust you as the encyclopedia
Yes,
between
100%.
2 beards. Like, anytime you make a comment on something, I'm like, yeah, no, he's probably
He's
right.
probably
Dan,
right. Yeah.
Dan is the man. Facts.
He is. He is.
Hashtag
All right.
facts.
Before I do want to talk about the Texas Death Match, and I do want to talk about Battle of the Belts, and then we have a draft to end the show. But before we do that, you know what we should talk about? Balls.
Oh, wow.
Balls.
I didn't know that. We did that. We couldn't do that again if we tried.
I know. That's pretty
Balls,
good. That's what
baby.
we call. You know what? You know what, Berto? I forgive you too. And you know who else will forgive you? Your balls. If you use manscaped.com. Type in that promo code Love Wrestling. You get 20% off and free shipping worldwide. You could be anywhere. You could be in the tip of Antarctica if you want. You could be in the North Pole. Doesn't matter. You go to manscaped.com. You put in your order. You type in that promo code Love Wrestling. You will get 20% off and free shipping to no matter where you are. You will feel better.
You don't think that I took care of business this past weekend?
I mean, I would hope you were manscaping, getting ready for your
Pluggo was approved. She was
damn right.
You're
damn right.
You show out for your partner.
You show out. Your partner will love it. You will love it. Their products are fantastic. Whether it's the Lawnmower 4.0, the Crop Preserver, the Crop Cleanser,
bro. You can be in the
waterproof,
shower, doing your thing.
cut proof, real good, real delicate. It'll make you feel trim, make you feel clean. It feels good when you're taking care of, the boys.
And your balls won't look like Wheeler Yuta's face after a Moxley match. You don't want that.
Exactly. And they won't look like what me and Pluggo got here either. And you'll love it. You'll feel good about it. But like Pluggo said, your partner will love it too.
Yeah, they'll appreciate it.
Exactly, Berto. Little Pluggo got a haircut. He had to prep.
Yeah.
He had to prep for the weekend.
He ain't little. He's big Pluggo. We
don't. We know
that's
not true. We know that's not true. But anyway,
it's 2022. Friends of the show. Grooming goes both ways these days. Manscaped.com, they got you. Love Wrestling CA. Put that promo code in. Go to Manscaped on Twitter and tell them that we sent you. Say those Between Two Beards boys spoke very highly of you. Let them know.
Let them know. Let them know that we're helping them, that you love us talking about our balls every week for a little bit.
Yeah.
Let them know. Let them know. Promo code Love Wrestling, 20% off, free shipping worldwide. All right, Pluggo. Let's talk.
Are we still talking about balls?
I think that was it. I think that was about a good 60 seconds, minute and a half of ball talk. I feel like that was pretty good. We're gonna be talking about balls a little later because our draft is revolving around a sport.
Baseball movie
draft. So stick around in the chat. Me and Pluggo are going to have a 5-round baseball movie draft to end this show after we talk a little bit more AEW.
And I'm so
Get your lists ready. I'm
so confident I did no research.
Bro, I can name 30 baseball movies off the top of my head.
I don't think you could.
No, 20 probably.
I almost want to scrap the draft and just you do 20 straight without
JPJ's balls. Yeah.
All right. Let them know. Tweet them. Say, hey, these B2 Beards. B2 Beards on Twitter.
That's what you do. Just tweet it. Hey, Manscaped, I'm Between Two Beards, JPJ and Pluggo. They sent me here.
Over, bro.
Just put you over hard. Let them know. Let them know.
Who knows? Maybe we'll get a little sponsorship for just Between Two. You never know. You never know what's going to happen.
We should have a beard sponsorship. I don't know how we don't have a beard oil or beard company sponsorship for our show. It makes no sense to me. I use You think this is natural? You think this beauty,
yes,
this
actually,
happens normally?
I just assumed you woke up and looked that good.
I do. I do. I'm a Greek god. But besides that, this takes, there's oils and balm.
I'm a Greek god, but besides that,
I put on a beard mask once a week at night where this is work, people. This is work. Wow. Anyway, sponsor a fucking show. So, all right. Anyway.
All of our fans, tell people to sponsor our fucking show.
Trying to make money off this shit. I don't want to go to work no more. Anyway, so do we think Adam Cole wins the AEW championship tomorrow night? Do we think that's a possibility? You think that's where you're leaning?
Texas,
look us up in the chat. Let us know.
People can get involved. I've been on this. I might be the only one.
I don't think you're the only one, but you've been on this for a bit. Yes, you have.
That I think Adam Page, I almost said Adam Cole, doesn't need the Kenny Omega 600-day title reign or whatever. I don't think he needs that. I think he's so incredibly over, and I think the way Cole would beat him would keep Adam Page incredibly over, and you could run it back if you wanted to.
Everyone's disagreeing with you.
Everyone
is disagreeing with you.
That's fine.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Come on, Spencer, get on it. Yeah, Spencer does a lot for us. We're talking. I want to talk. You leave that comment up. Spencer doesn't have a beard. I don't think he can grow a beard. You clip that, send that to. I don't care. I don't think he can do this. So that wouldn't.
I don't think you can do this.
I could if I put some effort into it, but I'm also a lazy POS.
You mean like I'm fucking? Do I look fit? I look like someone who's not somewhat lazy?
I'll do the beard brush, right? I'll go like this. I'll beard it down, but I'll put oils in it on occasion, and I'll wash.
You gotta put oils in, even if your beard's that small. You got to put oils in it at least every other day.
Yeah, but I don't. Anyway, like I was saying,
whatever.
Maybe a transition champion comes back. Maybe. I just feel like here's the thing. AEW does this where they bring in these stars from other companies, big deals, make them big deals, and then they take these L's in big spots. You got to give it to somebody at some point. And has Hangman Page's run been that memorable that we can't stop it now? You know what I mean? Like, no disrespect, I love Hangman, but like, is this run the run where we're like, oh, this can't be the guy, we can't lose it now, he's got to keep it till Double or Nothing? I don't think so.
Look, here's my thing. If I had to put my money on it, I'm picking Hangman.
Okay. I mean, that's fair.
But I think it has been made very clear that CM Punk is going to be the next challenger for the AEW championship. I would obviously not be opposed if they decided to turn CM Punk heel and go against Hangman. Yeah. Or you can just do the good guy versus good guy, I guess. You could, the veteran versus whatever. But with it being a Texas death match, with this being Hangman's second Texas death match that he's been in, I could see some chicanery happening. Cole gets it, and that's a natural good guy versus bad guy for CM Punk to win the title off of.
How many times are you going to just steal the belts? Like,
I could see it happening. And also, one thing that I have noticed is this. So this is the third. No, this will be the fourth Texas death match in AEW history. I think they've had 3 before. The person who has challenged the person to the Texas death match has lost the previous 3. So, if we all remember, Hangman is the one that challenged Adam Cole to this Texas death match. Again, could just be something that's coincidental, and maybe Hangman's the first one that challenges and wins. Again, I would put my money on Hangman. If you had a gun to my head and were like, pick, I would probably still lean Hangman. But I do think there are certain scenarios at play that could make you think, hey, maybe, you have to imagine that Red Dragon is going to get involved. You have to imagine that even potentially the Bucks could get involved. And when there's that many people with a Texas death match, which is already going to have weapons, violence, all sorts of stuff going on. I agree. So far, I've loved it. I'll take all the death matches. I do feel like I'm not going the route of you, Pluggo, where I'm thinking like, yes, I think Adam Cole is going to win.
Put him on the glass.
Yeah, but I mean, I've had more thoughts about it as the week has gone on. So, I agree. But here's the thing. I don't necessarily think if Hangman wins this match tomorrow night, I still think you can take the belt off him soon. Like, I expect him to lose. Like, I would think Punk would beat him if it gets to that. Maybe. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, in my opinion, the next AEW champion should be MJF. That's just how I feel.
And they got some work. They got some work to get him there, though, too.
Yeah, he's taking L's to Sean Dean left and right over here. Captain, baby. 2-0, baby. 2-0.
We stand for Sean Dean here, baby.
2-0, baby, against MJF. When MJF wins that title, Sean Dean better be that first challenger.
That's right.
2-0. He has the best win-loss record against MJF in the company. and the company.
I might
Anyway.
just tweet that clip that we posted earlier today every day until he gets a title shot.
Do it. He's going to get it, and then we'll be like, we knew.
What do you think? What do you think would happen first if I posted that? Because last night I said, "Put it on Sean Dean, you cowards." Do you think he would block me on Twitter first, or AEW would give him a title shot? Like if I every day.
Oh, he'd block you.
You think so? Every single day. It's
He's
like,
like,
hey,
come
here's your daily reminder, AEW, put the title on Dean.
Yeah. I mean, he might like it for like the first like 5 days, and then he's going to be like, this guy has a problem. And he's going to be like, I got to get away from this guy.
That Pluggo guy. I got to get
away
rid of
from
that
this
guy.
And I think this is the thing why so many of us do love AEW is there are so many possibilities because they don't just book for one angle. They book like if you're on the television show, it usually makes sense and it's usually building towards something. Like they don't waste their airtime. Whereas WWE, and again, I'm not a WWE hater. WWE does good shit. WrestleMania was great. I loved WrestleMania. I thought SmackDown last week was pretty good. I thought Raw this week was okay. They do things I like, but they do waste a lot of time. There's a lot of recaps. There's a lot of meaningless shit on the shows that just doesn't matter.
I think the way that we get where you want to go, it's going to be a long title reign for Paige because whether we like it or not,
we're talking
the MJF
out,
thing, the MJF thing works, but he's taking L's to Sean Dean, right?
He's got to get through Wardlow,
which I don't think he's going to beat Wardlow, right? Like
I agree. I think Wardlow wins.
There's another loss. He took a loss to Punk. Like he's not been winning in 2022 at a clip that would put you in the title picture. So you got to heat him up somehow after Wardlow and make it make sense because there's other guys that are going to jump him by then in those rankings.
Yeah.
So for you, yeah, your story makes sense if it's long term. I'm thinking more short term because I just as much as I love Hangman Page, and I think he's doing a great job. This isn't one of those title runs where it's like, oh my God, like he's got to keep it forever.
Oh, I agree.
Like,
but
we need something, and you got to do something with these guys.
What are we considering forever, though? Like, if he loses, even if they go to All Out, it's
under
a year.
It's the longest reign's Omega, right?
Yeah, he held it for a while. Moxley's was pretty long, though, too.
Yeah, but do you see Hangman Page for the next year and a half?
No, I see him losing it at All Out to MJF, probably.
Throughout the summer? To MJF?
Yeah, that'll be less than a year. I mean, he won it in November. Yeah. So if he, that's 8 months, 8-month reign. Like that's not compared to Omega's and Moxley's. That's less. I think Moxley held it for longer. I know Omega definitely did. Yeah. I don't know. I agree with you with the sentiment of like you have to have a short title reign at some point. Not every title reign needs to be this long year and a half thing.
Something about Hangman where it's kind of like the Mick Foley thing for me, right? Like Mick Foley held the championship 3 times for a combined 28 days, and we love that. I'm not saying you do that with Hangman. I'm not saying it's not apples and apples.
Well,
I'm just saying like a short title reign for Hangman doesn't hurt him. If anything, it helps him. It makes him he doesn't grow stale.
And I think this is part of it where like we all know that this is not the first and only time that Hangman's going to have that belt. Like he's going to be a multi-time, like, he's going to get it again. So I don't necessarily disagree with him needing to have a long title reign. I just think to me, it's MJF is the guy that should take it next. Although with the success of the MJF and Punk thing, I wouldn't be crazy if Punk beat him at Double or Nothing. And then you get the trilogy at All Out with Punk and MJF, the third battle for the title. You could do that, but I think Hangman holds it until Punk or MJF, most likely MJF. But who knows?
Put it on the board.
Yeah, everything can happen. Anything can happen. It's a Texas death match. So
we need to get a board and keep track of some of these disagreements.
Yeah, right. We'll make bets. But I do want to talk about Battle of the Belts, a little mini preview of Battle of the Belts. Only three matches.
Long, right?
Yeah, it's only an hour long. Yeah. But yeah, let's start with the women first. So we do have. I agree that Cole would be an ideal short-term faction. I agree. It has to be King who be. That's fair. I just think MJF needs to be the next champion. That's just how I feel. He's the way he's treated, the way he is. But like Hunter said earlier, there's so many possibilities, and that's what makes it exciting because they can literally go in any. If Cole wins it tomorrow, there ain't gonna, there's not gonna be a lot of people that are like, oh, what the fuck, what is this? Like people would be like, all right, cool, Adam Cole's a champ, cool. And then if CM Punk went, like they could do a ton of things. Punk could win it all or nothing, double or nothing, and everyone would be like, all right, cool, Punk, yeah, cool. Or you hold it out. They have a lot of ways they can go, and I think that shows that they haven't hit everything right, but they book their people well. They book their people well for the most part.
They put themselves in a position where they don't have to figure it out because it's already got like 4 or 5 planned.
Yeah, and that's a good thing because like, what if God forbid there's a bad injury, like or something, whatever. Exactly. They have booked their show that if God forbid there's an emergency or something's not hitting or all these things, they have options that they can go to because they treat these people like they are, and like the stars they should be. I think MJF when he cut that promo, when he was talking about what happened to him when he was younger and stuff like that, I think he proved to everybody that he does have a real good baby face running him at some point in his career. That crowd was by the end of that crowd was 100% behind him. And I think that is the guy's money, dude. He's the money. He's going to be a main eventer no matter where he is for the next 20 years. So that's what he is. All right. So we got Thunderosa defending the AEW Women's Championship against Nyla Rose. I'm pretty sure that we are aligned with I think the result is pretty determined at this point that Thunderosa will retain.
He scoops in and wins the belt.
Maybe.
Yeah, I don't think you go through all of that to take the belt off of Thunderosa in her first title defense.
Yeah. When you say he could get over like Austin, are you talking about Stone Cold Steve Austin or Austin Theory? Because that confuses me. We should probably get rid of the Austin part of Theory's name.
Bro.
Yeah. Sorry. I just didn't know who we were talking about because they're the same person, apparently.
Or Austin Aries or Austin
No,
Creed?
We don't mention his name on this show. He's a piece of shit.
Creed. Xavier Woods' this old character.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, there's Austins in the world.
Let us know who you think is everyone in the chat in agreement that we all think Thunderosa is going to retain here? This is her first defense. I'm assuming she's going to win. Nyla Rose seems to be in that position where whenever there's a new champion, she is the first challenger to the new champion. Yeah. Fine. It's fine. Whatever. She's a former champion. It is what it is. She is a beast. But I think this is pretty cut and dry here that Rosa will retain in her first defense.
I won't say when Nyla loses ultimately, I hope that they use it as an avenue to set some stuff up. Maybe have someone come out, get involved. Just because if you're going to do this and we all think the foregone conclusion is Nyla Rose taking the L, give me something else to go on here. Yeah. Build off of it in a way that gives me a storyline with Nyla, a storyline with Rosa doing something, because you got to do that.
Yeah.
Because if it's just, she lost, we knew that. And then you're like, this kind of sucks.
I agree with you, Hunter. I do believe they have the right 2 women with the belts. They just need to start booking the women better. Yes, that was a loaded show that overran last night, and the only women's match on the show was literally under 4 minutes.
We timed it. No joke.
Not okay.
We were here.
Not okay.
Yeah.
They had a huge show. There were 20 men involved and 2 women. Not okay.
And the 2 women that were involved got 4 minutes.
Yeah.
On a 2-hour
show. And I don't know what was going on with the truck or whatever, but half that match, they weren't even showing the match. They were showing the baddie section in the crowd. Which is fine. I get it. She's fighting Jade. Fine. But, for the love of God, guys, at least pretend that you care about the women. At least pretend. You got to get better with that.
It's just, it doesn't always, it doesn't always have to be at 9:15. They're so robotic with it. We know when it's coming.
Yeah, they did it at 9:15 last night instead of 9:30. And me, you, and Asher, obviously sarcastically, were like, oh my God, it's early. It's just ridiculous.
I just think and then they do this really annoying thing too, where they put the match and then they sandwich it with 2 promos. They're like, look at all the women's coverage we have. Why can't that happen? Why can't you start out the night on Dynamite with just a banger of a women's match.
Yeah.
Or
Like
give
they you know what? They announced Hayter and Storm will be their first round matchup. Start the fucking show with that match. Let them give them
10
12
minutes.
or 15 minutes. Like you gave Punk and Penta 20 last night.
Yeah.
Give them 15 minutes and watch the crowd. Watch what the crowd does.
And Punk and Penta ruled, but it would have
of course it
ruled
did.
even harder in 15 minutes.
Yeah, like it
instead
didn't
of
need
20.
a full 20. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like they didn't need to show a recap. There's a promo or two they could have cut off the show and got another women's match in. Like there's things that you can do to treat the women better. And right now, you know, and again, you and I have said it. We are way pro AEW people.
No.
The women stuff is glaring. It is a glaring problem. And they
no
need to fix it.
disrespect to Marina Shafir, but if you're not watching Dark and Elevation, you have no clue how good she really is. You're just like, oh, so she already is at a disadvantage, and then you give her 4 minutes against Sky Blue, who again nobody knows because she doesn't wrestle on Dynamite.
Yeah.
You gotta have your women wrestle on your flagship program where all of your viewers are, so we can get to know them. And don't come at me with ratings talk and all that BS. You gotta give them a chance. You gotta put them in these spots so that we can get invested in them. Because I'm not gonna lie, I got a life and I love wrestling and I watch more wrestling than maybe most, probably most. But I'm not always gonna catch Dark. I'm not always gonna catch Elevation. And if you're heating up your women there and only there, that's a set of eyeballs that I might miss. Yeah, I keep an eye on the records and I look, but like I'm not. It's tough.
Yep.
You got to put them in the spots. You got to put these women in an opportunity. That Jade and Marina match, if they're going to do it and they do it on Dynamite, needs to be. It needs to main event the show.
Event, or it needs to be start the show. It needs to be in a prominent position on the show, not 9:30 for fucking 5 minutes. Like that's not.
Yeah, you guys main evented John Silver and Jericho. We love both of them.
Yeah,
but that wasn't even the best match of the night on the night that happened. I can't remember what else happened, but it was a big night. You can put Jade and you can put him in the main event spot, put him at the beginning, get it in, just change it up, change up the formula a little bit. That's all I'm saying. Do that.
All right.
Tony Khan.
Then we have Scorpio Sky defending the TNT championship against Sammy Guevara. Sammy Guevara. Yeah, I think Scorpio Sky should keep it. I think I wouldn't be shocked if they give it to Guevara for obvious reasons. He's a pillar. He is who he is. But that thing that they're doing with him and Ty Conti, oof. But here's the thing, man. I don't disagree with you. Impact does have a better women's wrestling, but that's because they allow the women to wrestle on the show.
Yeah.
If AEW let the women have as many matches as Impact has on their show, your opinion might change. The reason why you think the women roster is still not there yet is because they're not given the opportunity to show anybody that they are.
But
I think that's the problem. They're a deep roster. Yeah, they got Thunderosa, Britt Baker, Hikaru Shida, Ruby Soho, Jamie Hayter, Tony Storm,
Mercedes
Martinez, Jade Cargill. She just got hurt, but Layla Hirsch rules.
Oh.
Like they have a very deep, very talented. Lufisto was there. Lufisto was there.
You got him.
They have the women to be good. They just get 5 minutes a show, and that's not enough to be good. So I don't fault you. I don't fault you for having that opinion because that opinion is not really inaccurate.
Yeah.
But the reason that opinion exists is because they aren't given the chance on the show to prove it otherwise. That's the problem.
That's when you do.
That's the problem. The problem is not the talent.
Baker, and then that's it. You're like, oh.
Yeah. The problem is not the talent.
Anna Jay is really good. The Bunny gets a lot of flack, but she's not a slouch in the ring. She knows what she's doing. You ever notice she's always in those prominent matches because she can go. She knows what it just becomes this problematic issue when you know at 9 o'clock you're getting your women's match. It's going to be 5 minutes, and you're going to move on to the next thing. And I hope that they don't do the same shit in ROH. I hope that he takes there's so many women out there that Willow Nightingale. Why aren't you signing these women? Like, why aren't these women already signed and on your roster and dominating, and you're just building this juggernaut? Like, you're just
Willow Nightingale and you want to talk about Rampage from last week? I was there for that match.
Yeah.
That when Red Velvet won, that crowd was booing the shit out of Red Velvet.
She's
They wanted Willow to win that match
over.
to the point where if I was Tony Khan in the back, I would have been like, "Yo, we need to change this decision, and we need Willow to win this match." That's how much that crowd was fully supporting Willow Nightingale, and that was my first time seeing her live. She's fantastic. They need to sign. They should have signed her the second she walked to the back. Like, yep, okay. Like, yes, she was fantastic. That whole crowd was for her.
I mean, the problem becomes like you have this 2-hour show. You've signed a gazillion. You did. Let's be honest. AEW signed 1 million people.
Mm-hmm.
It's tough to fit them all in a 2-hour show, but that doesn't give you an excuse to cut the women part out. Like you need to make that. You need to cut some of this men's stuff down. Like we watch these shows. I watch these shows, and there are nights that it's like you could have probably went without that. You probably could have cut that. Like it's not the shows are great. They're banger episodes, but I want more from my women's division. And putting them on Rampage is a good start, but you also need to. I gotta see them on Dynamite if I'm gonna care enough to be like, oh, Marina Shafir is gonna be able to beat Jade Cargill because she squashed a nobody in the sense of like nobody knows who Sky Blue is. I am a pro Sky Blue fan. I think she's fantastic, but she optically squashed somebody that didn't get an entrance that we don't see every week. It wasn't that competitive of a match. So you're just like, oh, here's the next victim for Jade. It doesn't work.
I agree. So we have Scorpio Sky and Sammy Guevara for the TNT Championship. Sammy Guevara. This is one of those things where I wouldn't be shocked if Guevara wins. Like, he's like I said, he's a pillar. He's, they're trying to position him as a baby face. They need to change that real quick because the crowd, this was Rampage last week when he was cutting that promo, and that crowd, they don't give a shit about these two. We do not care about
the hot couple is a heel gimmick.
Yes, it is.
Sammy has proven he can be a baby face. He did it with the Inner Circle, and he did it well. It's just everything that they say isn't wrong. It's just we want to hate that.
Yeah. Yeah, and I agree with Dan. I think Scorpio should retain, and then they both go do something else. I do think Samuel Guevara and Ty Conti, they're both good-looking people. They're an on-screen couple. They should be assholes. They should be, hey, we know we're good-looking people. We know we're hot as fuck. We know we're a hot couple. You're jealous of us. We're better than you.
Especially considering you proposed to your ex in the middle of
the ring. Like everyone saw that, bro. Everyone saw that, and then everyone saw you. Oh, this girl's way hotter. Let me leave my fiance and go with this girl who's super. You know what I mean? Like who's super attractive. That's what it looks like. That's what it looks like.
That's what it looks like. That's the optics of it. Yeah, I mean, things happen, relationships fizzle.
Yeah,
whatever.
But that's what it looks like. If you're a regular fan looking at this, you say, "Oh, that's adorable. He got engaged to this."
Pam, I think her name was.
Yeah, Pam. He got engaged to Pam. Lovely couple. And then all of a sudden, less than a month, like a month or two later, it's, oh, he's not engaged anymore. And he's dating the really attractive girl, the super attractive girl that he works with. That's what this is.
Isn't that funny, though? Like, if we want to just circle back to the story that they're telling, that he's in a program with Dan Lambert and people are hating him.
Yeah.
And Dan
that should tell you everything you know. If Dan Lambert's getting pops, you're fucking. This ain't working.
Because Dan Lambert is not there to be anything than a piece of shit manager.
Correct.
He's not there to get over. He doesn't want you cheering him.
No, he's playing the piece of shit, old boomer, sexist, racist. Like that's who he's playing.
That's who
he was getting cheered for calling Ty Conti a whore. They would cheer. The Boston crowd was cheering him,
which was terrible because Dan Lambert needs new material, but we digress.
Brutal. It did work out great, but I agree. Like the way it is soap opera shit, and it did work out great, but it's not going to work out great if you're trying to make them baby faces when the crowd's like, no.
I think there's a place for all of that kind of like soap opera type stuff in wrestling. I think that it's okay, but if it's not clearly working and you're doing like they book the shows, right? They write these. Okay, Tony Khan claims there's no writers, but he books the show. He doesn't have to book Guevara and Ty in this. He could do something
You
else.
could keep them separate on the television
I
screen
mean,
if you want. But
it's
this
not
was
like Sammy didn't just have the TNT title. You don't have to run it
Correct.
back right away. He should have to fall down a pecking order to get a title shot anyway, because you also wrote that there's rankings for a reason. Are you telling me that there's nobody else in line for that TNT title?
Yeah. Well, it's just
saying.
not. Yeah. Look at. I think they need to go heels. That's all. They just need to be heels.
Let's be heels.
But I'm picking Scorpio Sky to retain that one. That's what I'm doing.
Yeah.
And then they announced this on Dynamite last night. The main, I don't know if it'll be the main event, but
passing too.
Yeah, they did the shit with the Suzuki Joe match. They did it in passing last week. They just throw out these bangers. Oh, by the way, we got this, and it's like, what do you mean, by the way? But the Ring of Honor World Championship will be being defended by the champion, Jonathan Gresham, versus Dalton Castle, one of my favorites,
That'd be like us being like, oh yeah, by the way, Spencer, Sean Ross Sapp showing up tonight. He's not, Spencer. Calm down. We didn't book him tonight. Relax.
But again, that very cool. I will say.
Oh, okay. By the way,
I want to see how it lines up a little bit, because I feel like So this match is going to be great. I'm picking Jonathan Gresham to retain, although I love Dalton Castle. I would be thrilled if Dalton Castle won, just because Gresham to me seems like somebody of these two. Gresham to me seems like somebody Tony Khan would want for AEW.
Yeah.
So I could see maybe Dalton Castle winning the title back and being, okay, you're going to be on Ring of Honor. You're the Ring of Honor champion. Gresham, we have plans for over here. But I'm probably leaning Gresham. He's arguably one of the best in-ring wrestlers in the world. He is the Ring of Honor champion. I'm going to say he retains, but my heart wants to pick Dalton Castle.
To you and to all the viewers in the chat, and I'm gonna play dumb. I am dumb on this. When Tony Khan bought ROH, all the contracts that were ROH contracts, those ran out. Did he sign Gresham? Did he sign Castle? Or are they working on like handshake deals? Yeah, no.
I honestly don't know.
Because because where you're at, that makes
Gresham,
sense.
I think
if you've signed Gresham and you've locked him into an AEW deal, great, make it happen. If you haven't, but then also we're now 3 for 3 on the champion retaining at Battle of the Belts 2, which sets a terrible precedent that if you're going to have these and the champion never loses, why are we having these?
Hunter, the boys are in the graphic.
Boys, baby.
The Dalton Castle is front and center, and the boys are behind him on each side in the graphic for the match. I would be shocked if they're not going to be involved.
But I feel like that's part of the reason he never went to the WWE is because they wouldn't have ever let him do that. I feel like I heard that somewhere.
Oh, WWE had wanted Castle before, but they weren't going to let him be this character.
Yeah,
he was like, no, I like being this character.
Right. Yeah, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I think Gresham wins too. I think it's going to be a great match. And again, why not put some? And that worries me too for the ROH side of things, because they did it with Suzuki and Joe where it was kind of in passing. They did it with Gresham and Castle where it's like, okay, but I want you guys to put as much effort into ROH as you are in Dynamite.
Well, I was going to say, obviously, ROH doesn't have a TV contract of sorts. Maybe that'll be the big announcement Tony Khan has next week. Who knows? Right. But my thing is, if this match ends up main eventing, Gresham and Dalton Castle, that'll be, and again, I don't know what will be main eventing. Oh, the Texas Death Match will main event tomorrow, so maybe not. But that'll be 4 out of the last 5 shows that have been main evented by another company's championship. Yeah. Last week on Dynamite, you had the Ring of Honor and the AAA tag team titles that were on the line. You had the Ring of Honor Pure Champion. The title was on the line, but you had the Ring of Honor Pure Champion and Wheeler Yuta main eventing Rampage. On Wednesday, it was the Ring of Honor Television Championship that was on the line in the main event with Joe and Suzuki. Now, potentially, obviously you'll have the AEW championship on Rampage, but potentially the Ring of Honor championship main eventing Battle of the Belts. Like, I'm assuming there will be a television deal or a streaming deal of sorts for Ring of Honor down the line. But as an AEW guy, like, don't get me wrong, I agree with Hunter. We are spoiled. Like, I am looking forward to this Gresham and Castle match, just like I was looking forward to Suzuki and Joe last night. But at the same time, I don't want other companies' belts main eventing my AEW shows for the rest of time.
Like
I
where's
want
Scorpio Sky? Where's the TNT title?
Yes.
Where's the AEW Tag Team Champions, which we did get this past week? But yeah, like feature those. I get it, and
you know what I mean? Like, that's not me complaining about the matches, because as a wrestling fan, I'm like, please just keep on feeding them to me. Yeah. But I do think, you know, at some point you need the AEW titles. Like Dan just cracked a joke, but like, this is the second Battle of the Belts event, and the world title hasn't been defended in either. So why not have why not have Gresham and Dalton Castle main event Rampage, and then you have the Texas Death Match on the Battle of the Belts on set? Like, what's the you know what I mean? Like, there's just certain things like that where I'm like, you know, I don't know. Again, not complaining about these matches. I'm gonna have the time of my life watching that match. It's probably gonna be great. Yeah. You know, I saw live FTR and the Bucks for non-AEW titles. It was fucking incredible. Like, I'm not complaining, but they're AEW shows. They should have AEW talent and AEW titles main eventing them rather than other companies.
Again, I think once he figures out, because he bought it, I didn't expect him to. When he bought it when Tony Khan bought ROH, I think everybody was like, "Oh shoot!" Like, all the possibilities open up. I think he's having a lot of fun with it right now.
Oh yeah,
but at the end of the day, you're right. He's got to hammer that down. He's got to say, this business and this business, while I own both of them, are separate, because you know we're not gonna see AEW wrestlers on Sundays with Jacksonville Jaguars games, right? Like, yes, it's wrestling and it's all interchangeable, but you need to really kind of like almost brand split like the WWE does, where it's like, this is ROH, this is AEW, and when they do crossover, it is something special, and you can do these special matches. But yeah, hopefully he hammers that all out. I wonder, I'm very intrigued on where ROH ends up, because I think you need a TV deal, and if you've got the backing of AEW where the success is there, and you can use some of that talent on the shows, like, I'm sure somebody will pick it up. I would just want to know who, because I'm excited. But
I am too.
We're spoiled. Wrestling is in a great place. Like, I know that we sound like we're shitting on it, but we're not. We're just like, some of this doesn't make sense, and there's a lot of this AEW talent that's not getting used and getting outshined right now by ROH talent. And clearly Joe is going to be ROH heavy.
Yeah,
you know, that's clear as day. I'm interested to see if FTR is going to shift more to the ROH side of things, because they are the champions, but I don't know if that's a long-term solution, because I want to see them in the AEW tag picture too.
Damn right.
FTR is so good, dude.
They're so good. I'm glad I said it last night, I'm glad they're getting babyface run, so like, dude, the crowd can openly show them the adoration that we all have for them, you know?
And they didn't even really do anything that, like, you know, out of
they didn't change who they were. They got rid of Tully.
Which
yeah. And then, you know, I think HBO in the US, I mean, I think HBO Max, if you want to go streaming service, HBO Max would be good. Yeah. You could, you know, that I don't know. I think you need some sort of weekly television show at some point.
Your problem is so you've got Monday Night Raws on USA Network. There's nothing on Tuesday, but TNT's not going to pick it up.
NXT.
NXT, but they're on USA. Wednesday's Dynamite, but TNT is not going to pick that up and put it anywhere because of NBA, and they got hockey now.
Carl from Turnbuckle Talk says he could see Fridays turning into Ring of Honor Rampage, maybe.
But then that kind of defeats the. I mean, yeah, you could, but I think if you're going to do that, you need to. I hate to say it, I don't want to. It's going to have to be 2 hours, and it's not because you're going to want to tell some stories and not rush it in an hour. I know ROH and syndication was an hour. That was all pre-tape stuff that you could edit, do all your thing. Maybe they do that again. Yeah. I don't know.
I mean, for me, yes, Tuesday is free, Hunter. That is that.
That would be some shit if ROH was like, we're going to go head to head with NXT.
I think they would win. again. If you like the new NXT, that's fine. There's stuff that I like about it, but it is becoming
It's
Raw
because
light. Monday Night Raw light.
NXT is becoming. I'll binge watch it. I don't appointment view it anymore.
Mm-hmm.
I just can't. If there's a great match that I want to see, then I'll definitely go out of my way to watch it. But there's just so many other things that they're not doing to like curtail to me. Like behind that, I'll be 36 in 2 weeks. Some of the angles they run and the gimmicks just don't appeal to me. That's just the unfortunate side of things. And I mean, it's not a program that's aimed to my demo.
Yeah,
they're trying to go younger. But yeah, in ROH, they'll find a niche. They'll find a home. I think Tony is smart enough to know, where to put it or how to get it done. And I do think that the AEW success, he's got that proof. Like that was a big deal. Like it's hitting millions, hitting $1 million every week. Their pay-per-view buys are huge. Somebody will pick them up.
I agree. All right. Let's do a baseball draft.
Maybe nobody picks them up, right? How crazy would that be? Like, we don't want this shit. You spent $40 million on this.
Well, then I think we'll just keep on getting more of what we see, and they'll just kind of have champions, and then they'll probably run independents, and which is fine. I have no problem with these. Again, they just bought it. It's been 2 weeks. I'm not saying I'm like super complaining about it, but like at the end of the day, you don't want all these. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Oh, I'm with you.
All right.
You got to differentiate the product. You got to.
All right. It was MLB opening week last week. We are
so technically it's still the opening week.
It's still opening week, yeah. We love wrestling here and we talk about wrestling, but we love all sports. Pluggo and I. We do NFL. We talk NFL when it's necessary. We talk baseball. So we decided it was Alex's idea. It was a good idea by him. So I will give him
the best idea he's ever had.
He said, "Hey, with it being the first week of baseball, you guys should have a baseball movie draft." And I was like, you know what? Yeah.
Which we've done the sports.
We've done the sports movie draft, but this one will be dedicated specifically to baseball, which I'm looking forward to. I love when we do our drafts. We used to do them every week, but we kind of got away from that a little bit. I would like to get back to doing more of them.
Packed few weeks,
It has. Well, I mean, we haven't done drafts regularly in months.
I know, literal months. It's WrestleMania season, and unfortunately. Not unfortunately, I guess it's a good problem to have, is the WWE where somebody would break some massive news on like Thursday afternoon that would take up a good portion of our show, which again, not a complaint, but yeah, it takes the draft away sometimes.
Yeah, it does. All right.
Cody signs in WWE, but we want to talk about cheeseburgers.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so we will do a baseball draft, 5 rounds. Alex will keep them tracked for us, and then we'll throw them on the Twitter and let you people vote on who won the draft. How are we deciding who's going first? How do you want to do this?
Dude, I don't know. We didn't think about that.
No, all right, so I'll just go first.
There you go. There you go.
How we're doing it?
Sure.
All right.
Beard length wins.
All right, that's fair. See, now my thing is, do I pick my favorite baseball movie? Do I pick what I think is the best baseball movie?
I vote for those that are new to the show. I pick my draft obviously based off of what you pick, so that I have to, because there's some shit you pick that I love. Yeah. But I got to remember, like, I'm gonna go watch these 5 movies, right? I'm not worried about what you guys think.
I know where I'm starting. Then it's one of my favorite all-time movies. I've seen it more times than I could probably count. My number 1 pick overall will be The Sandlot.
Oof. See, that's a good one.
The Sandlot. That's fantastic. Benny the Jet, Ham Porter. You play ball like a girl. One of the all-time greats.
You want me to pickle the beast?
He gets the PF Flyers. He got one of the things known to man, the PF Flyers.
PF Flyers. Oh, God. So now you've put me
in a predicament,
because that's like the GOAT. That is like I
agree. I think it is the best. Well, depending on what you pick, I think I could get what might be the best movie.
Yeah, which makes you always say that shit, and then I get worried that I
was worried. I was like, look, at Sandlot's the fave, but there's a 1A for me. So, yeah, I'm gonna see what you do. bench warmers. That's a good one. That's a
Oh
good one.
man, that's
The
so
list that he
good.
had before, I don't want to say out loud because I'm assuming most of those movies will be drafted. But yeah, the Benchwarmers is a good one. All right, man, let's go. First pick. Do something.
Bull Durham. I gotta take it. I
That's
gotta
fair.
take it early because if I don't, I'll forget about it. But that movie is so good.
That's
and it's
fair.
not even it's a baseball movie, but it's really more of a love story.
It's a love story. It's a love story, but it's revolved around baseball. It's a great movie.
I believe in the sweet spot. I'm not gonna go.
All right. Well, lucky for me, my number
Listen,
2 movie that I
meat.
wanted was my number 2 ranked movie. I'm taking A League of Their Own.
That's where I was gonna go if you didn't. Okay,
Yeah.
that's
I am taking A
really good
League of Their Own. I think it is one of the all-time Tom Hanks performances as
that's such a good movie.
as Dugan. It's based on a true story of the women having to create a baseball league because the men were fighting in war. It's a good story about the sisters, Dottie and Kit. Yeah. I think with these 2 movies, it's already over. I got the Sandlot and A League of Their Own already over.
It might
But
be.
A League of Their Own is fantastic. It's absolutely fantastic. Dugan is Tom Hanks is the drunk. Then he becomes a good manager. Could you be any more gross if we pay? Yeah, exactly. Hunter, no crying in baseball. He has the thing where the kid wants his autograph and he writes "Avoid the clap," Jimmy Dugan.
Yeah,
unbelievable. And he's like he spits on the guy's shoe and he goes, "Could you be any more disgusting?" He goes, "Well, I could certainly use the money." He's just like this drunk.
I love it.
Oh my god, it's so good.
That would have I should have took that.
It's such a good movie.
But for some reason in my mind, I thought you weren't going to go 2 there, and I would.
I almost took A League of Their Own first.
Yeah, see that.
That's where I was. I think. I'm telling you, The Sandlot is my favorite. I think A League of Their Own might be the best baseball movie ever made.
It's super good. It's super good. And yes, as Ecto Guy mentioned, that one of the teams was South Bend, and that's where I live. That's where I'm from.
Yeah. And then they had the Rockford Peaches.
The Rockford Peaches. All good. Well, I'm just gonna go ahead and take it now. Field of Dreams.
All right.
Gotta take that.
All right.
I know
overrated.
That's what I was just. Everybody says like there's a contingency of people that think that movie's overrated, and I could understand why you think that, but you're wrong.
No, it's still good. It's still good. It's an all-timer to me.
Fantastic movie.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
all right.
What are you talking about overrated?
It's a little bit overrated.
You're overrated. Come on.
I probably am.
Come on.
I'm going to take the first Major League.
Ew.
The first. The second one is also very funny, but I'm going to take the original Major League.
I prefer the second one.
Do you?
Only because I've seen it more.
Okay. I just think Major League is fantastic. It's hilarious. It's about the Cleveland Guardians now, but the then Cleveland Indians.
Yes.
It's about them. They're the worst team in the league. They got a bullshit jerk owner. And they're just a ragtag crew. They're just a bunch of nobodies that are, they come together and they become a team. And it's a very funny, hilarious movie that, Wild Thing, Rick Vaughn, like John Moxley comes out to that fucking entrance music. Like that's how, when I hear Wild Thing, the first thing I think about is Rick Vaughn.
Yeah.
That's what I think about, So I hear that music and I'm singing that music. I was singing it last week. I'm like, Rick Vaughn, man, where's Wild Thing here?
Hey, Vaughn, strike this mother out.
Exactly. Yeah. Iconic. Iconic stuff.
Good.
Major League. Third pick, bro.
I'm gonna go with For Love of the Game. That guy, all the
Kevin Costner, man. What are you you in love with Kevin Costner? Bro?
I might be, bro. Like he does the baseball thing really well. I love that. That's such a good movie.
It's good,
and it's such a fun. It's a different perspective that they told. Like it really doesn't evolve around the game a lot, but like the way they tell the game part of it is, I just think it's a really well done movie. And maybe I got a thing for Kevin Costner. I don't know. I mean, Kevin Costner, he rumored to be the reason that Cal Ripken's streak continued.
Is that true? Is that a thing?
So there's so back in 97, like Cal Ripken was on his way to the stadium, he submits to the 200 2,600. This is the rumor, speculation. And he left to come to the stadium for a game in 97 and forgot something and goes back home and finds his wife in bed with Kevin Costner.
No, is that true?
And magically that day,
I feel like I would have heard that.
Magically that day, these Camden Yards lights just didn't work. So they had to postpone the game to the next day, in which he showed up, kept the streak alive. It's a conspiracy theory. It's out there, man. Just saying.
Oh, I've never heard that. Never heard that.
It's out there, man.
All right. That's fair.
Look it up.
With my fourth pick, I'm taking 8 Men Out.
Ooh.
About the 1919 Chicago Black Sox scandal. Great cast. John Cusack is in that. It's a fantastic, based on a true story. There's a good book as well, but the movie is ridiculously good. And it's about a story, Shoeless Joe Jackson, all those guys that took money to throw the World Series in 1919. Yeah, that's my fourth pick. That's probably the most serious of the movies I'll take. It's more of a drama, but it's revolved obviously around baseball and a true story. Those guys are still banned from getting into the Hall of Fame to this day. It's a really good baseball history story, and it's a really well-made movie.
How dare you bet on baseball? Well,
that's the number one rule. Don't bet on baseball, bro. Don't bet on baseball.
There's so many, like, we could keep going. There's so many like comedies, and I don't have a lot of comedies now. I mean, there's a few that I really love, but I think I have to go 42.
Oh, all right.
I love
that. Was a pretty good one.
Jackie Robinson was my favorite baseball.
You know what's crazy is my last pick is going to be a movie named after a number as well.
Ooh.
I meant to give it away, but
you did give it away. Is there an asterisk at the end of that number?
There is, yeah.
I love that movie.
That was a great fucking movie. It's a great fucking movie. It's a really good movie. Yeah.
Good. 42, Jackie Robinson. We all know the history. I grew up, every time they gave us a book report to do on whatever subject we wanted, I always chose Jackie Robinson. Mm-hmm. I just found his story to be fascinating, and I thought that movie was very well done.
Yeah. They talk about, when that happened, when he broke the color barrier, they really, it's clearly a baseball thing because he broke the color barrier in baseball, but that meant something way more than just baseball. Like at the time, that was a cultural thing. Like it wasn't just, oh, this is the first black man to play baseball. That was what was happening, but it meant way more than just a black guy playing baseball. You know what I mean? And I agree. I've read numerous books on Jackie Robinson. That movie was really good. And God rest his soul, Chadwick Boseman killed it as him. Yeah, that's a really good pick. My fifth pick is 61.
Yeah, that's so good.
A great movie with Thomas Jane, and I'm gonna forget the other actor's name. I'm sorry that I did. Barry Pepper, that's right.
Yeah, dude.
With Mickey Mantle, Roger Maris story of the 1961 season where Maris is chasing. Yeah. Thomas Jane as Mickey Mantle is awesome in that movie. That's a great performance by Thomas Jane as Mickey Mantle. I believe Billy Crystal directed that movie, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep, directed it. I don't know what this means, Ecto Guy.
I think that was him saying, "You're right, Joe," as usual. As usual, that was.
You're right, dude.
And there's a lot of. Well, you still have one more pick, but there's a lot of movies I could have picked.
Yeah, I mean,
there's a lot. We're gonna leave a lot on the table. But yeah, I'm pretty good with my list. I think that is a dominant 5 that I picked. But I will leave the last pick to you, and then we'll get out of here.
God, I feel like I have to end on such an.
There's one that I really wanted to pick, but then once you picked 42, 61 immediately popped in.
What is it?
No, you got to pick first.
Let me know, and I'm gonna. I mean, I got mine anyway, but just let me know.
Well, no, I need you to pick first.
I want to know if I would have picked it.
You might. We'll find out.
Oh man, it could be the movie we talked about yesterday, but
possible.
I'm gonna go with Moneyball.
Okay, that's a really good movie. That's a really, really good movie. That wasn't.
I went with. There's so many baseball comedies. I could have went like Little Big League. I was
gonna say Rookie of the Year. Would have been the one.
I just watched that like 2 days ago. I really enjoyed that. But I mean, when I get down to it, I love the comedic side of baseball. Like Major League 2, I find out. Major League 3, I enjoy. The Back to the Minors.
Back to the Minors, bro. Scott Bakula.
Dude, that shit is dope. But like
Hunter Ridge did say something in the chat about Brewster's Millions. That is a very good movie.
Yeah.
With John Candy,
Angels
Richard
in
Pryor.
the Outfield, Ecto Guy, that's another one. When it comes to my baseball movies, I just really enjoy like intense baseball movies.
That's
more
fun.
than the comic, but I love all of them.
Yeah. I mean, we did rookie. We didn't say Rookie of the Year. We didn't say.
Yeah, we always do these drafts, and there's like 50 other
yeah.
ones that we could have picked.
But we
Fever
did the
Pitch.
damn
I
thing.
love Fever Pitch. You don't, which
I
is
do
crazy
not.
because you're a Red Sox fan.
Yeah, that's why I don't like it, because it was a fucking horrible made movie about the Boston Red Sox.
It was so good, dude.
It was not. It was not a good
about?
movie.
What
It was
are
not
you
a good movie.
talking about?
It was not a good movie.
What's not to like?
The fact that Jimmy Fallon is awful in it, that might be something. And I like Jimmy Fallon, but he is not a leading man. Trash. Yeah. Well, the fact that none of it is realistically based about anything that has to do with the Red Sox. Like, they showed clips of Red Sox games, but like Boston Red Sox fans don't act like Jimmy. Like, that's not how we. That's not how we.
That's not how
but
you feel like you were portrayed poorly as a Red Sox.
I just feel like it's not a great movie.
Okay. All right.
I'm not saying that people can't like it, but being from Boston, I was very excited for that movie. I was like, oh man, Red Sox movie, the Farrelly brothers, they're from here. This is going to be cool. And I went to the theater and I was like, this is trash. This is fucking awful. What is going on here?
You went
very
to the
upset.
theater. That's awesome.
Yeah, I was very upset.
All
and
right.
I will forever hold the judge against it. I hold a grudge against it. I'm
You
sorry.
you picked a Yankees movie over a Red Sox. Granted, and I mean they're two totally different movies, but
Yeah, because one of them was well made and one of them was not.
would you, if they made a movie about the life of Paul O'Neill, would you be interested in seeing it?
It would probably depend on who was playing Paul O'Neill. But
What if it's Paul O'Neill playing?
no, I wouldn't. No. We are not pro Yankee in this
The
household.
Yankee legend, Paul
We are
O'Neill.
not. We are not pro Yankee in this household. We are not. We are from Massachusetts. We are not pro Yankee. I'm going to try to be as nice as I can.
Oh,
And I did have a Yankee movie in my list, but it's a really friggin' good movie.
No, it's
it's like,
good.
you know,
like
you know?
it's such a good movie. Like there's so many good baseball movies. Baseball is ingrained in the DNA of America.
It is, and I agree with Hunter. Like, probably more baseball movies than any other sport. There are. I mean, you know what? Shockingly, there's a lot of movies. Boxing. There's a lot of boxing movies, which are a lot of good boxing movies as well. Blue Jays, all right, they're good this year. I expect them to.
Glad he just hit 3 bombs.
Yeah, in Yankee Stadium too. My pick would be the Blue Jays to win the division if I had to pick one of them. Their offense is really good. But you know where I lie. I'm a Red Sox fan through and through. Bullpen's awful, but whatever. We'll figure it out. Hopefully.
Cubs are surprisingly above 500, so I'm loving that right now.
Know, it is what it is.
It ain't gonna last, but Suzuki looks good.
Yeah, he was rumored to come to the Red Sox forever. We were the front runner, and then all of a sudden he was like, "No, I'm good." But
he's like, "I'm gonna go hang out with the cool kids."
Yeah, I'm gonna go to the Cubs, man. But on that note, we've almost been doing this thing for 2 hours, so we ended on a good draft. I think I crushed Pluggo.
You always think you crush Pluggo. That's why you never put it on the socials. So
yeah, it's true. But we'll put this one on the socials because I do think I have this one in the bag.
I don't know, dude. Kevin Costner is the OG.
I'm not saying he ain't. I ain't saying he ain't. But I'm not saying I would have picked all 3 of those movies.
Normally I pick some off the wall thing just for shits and giggles because I usually do, But this time I was like, no, let's keep it legit, man. These are pillar movies, bro.
Yeah, I agree. All right. On that note, Pluggo. Cubbies, dude.
Yeah, Cubs all day, baby. Let's go.
Plug your stuff, man. What do you got coming up? Anything on the docket? Let the people know where they can find you.
Nothing on the docket. I don't know. You never know with me. This weekend, I might pop in and do something. I might not. I don't know. I got a pretty open week this week, but catch me at Pluggo_ on Twitter, on Facebook, on Instagram. All that fun stuff. You can catch us at Between Two Beards, at B2Beards on the Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. We're everywhere. We got a TikTok, all sorts of stuff. JPJ and I are constantly coming up with so honestly, you never know when you're going to see us pop up. We might just throw a show together on a whim. I know JPJ is doing some Twitch stuff. We've been talking about messing around with doing a little bit more Twitch stuff with some gaming. You never know. Just keep glued to the socials. Give us a like, follow, subscribe. Love wrestling. Got a bunch of good shows coming up this weekend, so please follow that as well.
Yep, you can see all the stuff below us. Facebook, Love Wrestling CA. Twitter, Love Wrestling CA. Instagram, the same. YouTube, all that fun stuff. You can go to our shop at lovewrestling.ca/shop. Buy some cool stuff there. But yeah, give me a follow on the Twitter. It is Joseph_Poulin Jr. that you can see right here. Follow Between Two Beards everywhere. And then you can also follow a page, JPJ Loves Wrestling on Facebook, JPJ Loves Wrestling on Twitch. I have been playing MLB The Show a little bit every day for the most part, but I'm going to try to narrow it down to like a set schedule. But I've been doing that stuff as well. Yeah, and I want to get Pluggo on there. Thank you guys. Appreciate that, Hunter. Appreciate that, Carl. We appreciate your support. And thanks for being in the chat and commenting so much and kind of we want you guys to drive. We want you guys to drive the conversation. We have the bullet points that we want to hit, but we really incorporate the people that are here
and I'm just
investing their time in us. So
you
we
go
want
to
you
other
guys
shows, they're going to blow through your comments. We are going to your comment. Obviously, keep it within good taste, and most of you guys do. We never have any problems with our fans, but that's what we want to do. We want to just have a discussion. We don't come with like a bunch of stuff. We just go, let's see what happens tonight. And you guys, without you guys, the show wouldn't be as successful as it is. So yeah, every week, just come in. Don't be afraid to comment 50 times. Like we're never going to shy away from that.
Yeah. So yeah, give us a follow on all our socials, follow Between Two Beards, give us some support. We're trying to grow this thing and do special things this year. Oh, the lights are out again.
Oh, it's me.
On that note, we'll be back here. Well, you'll see us next Wednesday for All Elite Sidecast. Turnbuckle Talk on Tuesdays. Like Pluggo said, there's a million things that love wrestling. NXT, Power Out. We got all the stuff here. But you can catch me and Plug
on Saturday, hosted by our producer Alex. He's the man.
Damn right. But you can find Pluggo and me Wednesday nights for All Elite Sidecast with Astrid, and on Thursday nights here at 8 p.m. for Between Two Beards. Until next Thursday, go Celtics. Fuck Kyrie Irving. Peace out.
Damn it. Go KD.
My best friends. Some people say we have a problem.